You are surrounded by abundance. Breathe it in. It's already yours. The universe is listening. Speak your desires into light. The garden grows because you believe. This is your time. Welcome to Manifestation Monday. Now, hello. I was muted. How are you? Happy September 1st. Bless you. Thank you for being here. It is September, and I'm ready now for Halloween. Enough with the hot weather. Hello, hello, my darlings. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Manifestation Monday. I got a show for you. And I want you to get ready because you may have to write a few things down. I know that many of you don't like to do that. But my darlings, how are you going to learn if you don't? Right? It is still very hot here. Now I'm seeing, before we get started, I want to thank each and every one of you for coming in. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to many of you. Welcome, welcome, and welcome to the mods, and thank you so much for being here. Now, I'm seeing a lot of buzz about the rice jar. Now, yes, and I did this on purpose. I did not take the labels off of my rice jar because I want you to see that you don't have to have a lot of effort for this to work. It's not about all of the pomp and circumstance. Is about your intentions. That's what makes it work. Now, you can have as many rice jars as you want. You can use whatever rice you want. I just happen to use long grain rice, and you'll know when things are, yes, hello. I love Nescafe. Hello, that's fine. And you'll know when things are coming into fruition because you see there, I've got some money that wants to always come to the surface. And you'll know things are working when that happens. Now, I'm still working on mine. I'm still adding. And that's why I went from the little jar, hold on, I have it here still, for demonstration purposes only. Oh, look, that looks pretty cool against the background. See, I didn't even take the label off of that. So I went from this to this. I'm outgrowing it. And you know what? I'm adding more things in here weekly. Now, the month of September is going to be planetary. There's eclipses, there's moons, there's this harvest moon. And my darlings, wait for the harvest moon because you will be manifesting during that harvest moon. You can't help it. See, here's the thing. Many people feel it's a chore. Oh, I can't manifest. Oh, yes, you do. You do it every day. Maybe it's negative. Maybe it's not so negative. Maybe. So you got to just take a breath and you think about what you say and what you do. Now, this Manifestation Monday is very, very important. And again, I want to thank the mods for being here. And one more thing, if you, if the mods will put up that link, and I can do it too for the psychic shop, that's where your little rice jar, it's just a little manifestation ebook. That's what it is. You can run over there, grab it, download it. No, you're on your way right now. That's what you do. So thank you so much for doing that. And welcome to Captain Jerry and Patty. I love it. And thank you all for being here. Now, this is a little different. Thank you so much, Patty. This is a little different. And I know some of you in here like old movies, just like I do. And they have a purpose always because they have a deep down message for us most times. Oh, good, Martha. I was going to ask you about that. By the way, Martha, that is a very rare deck of cards now. You can't really get them. We're not going to be selling them again. I made sure that everything is A-okay. So hang on to those. Hang on to those because they're hard to get. So we have today a very special that I just want to share with you. It's one of my favorite movies from 1935 and 1954. But there was also a book, and there's a series. It's old, but let me show you what it is. This is the 1954 version. I'm going to add this to the stage, and it is this: Magnificent Obsession. Now it says the great love story. Well, it is kind of, sort of. It is. It's a great love story. But there is, my darlings, a huge message behind this. You see, the author, hold up, I can talk, is Lloyd C. Douglas. Lloyd C. Douglas in 1929 wrote Magnificent Obsession. In 1935, the first version came out with Irene Dunne and Robert Taylor. It was actually on Turner Classic Movies last night. And that's what gave me this inspiration for today. And I'll tell you why. For the past 4 days, I've been looking because I have the dual disc that I bought from Turner Classic Movies. It's got both versions, 1935 and 1954. And I thought, wow. Then I turn on my TV last night. I go in and sit down, and holy moly, there it is. Just started. I was mesmerized, and you will be too. You can Google it. You can find it. Sometimes it's on there, but you may want to check with Turner Classic Movies because they may have it. But there's a message. It's kind of this, do I want to say pulp fiction? Maybe. There's a story within a story within a story. Pardon me. Pardon me. I'm so sorry. It just came out. Oh my goodness. Pollen. So there's a story within a story, and I'm just going to give you the brief rundown so you understand that. But before we begin, Lloyd C. Douglas, the author, was a minister. And thank you so much. Gesundheit, Frau Krankheit, right? Thank you so much. Thank you. I know that drives people crazy. And, you just have to race to do what you need to do. And so Lloyd C. Douglas practiced what he did with this. Hi, Molly. Bless you, my darling. Thanks for coming in. So Lloyd C. Douglas authored this book first in 1929. And the book, and imagine in 1929, over 3 million people worldwide was reading this book. And it's because of the message that it had, other than a love story. We always resonate to a love story. But other than that, there's a huge message behind this. Now, I love the 1954 version, but I'm going to give you a rundown about what it is. A character by the name of Dr. Hudson, we never see him because in the beginning of the movie, he's out by the lake. He has a heart attack. They have the hospital. He's married to Jane Wyman. He's out. And at the same time, simultaneously, Rock Hudson is out on the lake, and he's got this cigarette boat, and he's going very, very, very fast, and he cracks up. Now, the hospital only has one resuscitation machine. And things happen simultaneously, and by fate, they took the resuscitation machine to Rock Hudson instead of Dr. Hudson. In the movie, the name Rock Hudson, or the character of Rock Hudson, was Bob Merrick. And of course, you know, Rock Hudson had that look back then in the 1950s. Hello, we all know what that was all about. But he still had that look, and he was the playboy. And he saw Jane Wyman. Jane Wyman did not say that she was the doctor's wife. It's a big thing. But Rock Hudson's character falls in love with Jane Wyman. So finally, forgiveness starts happening. Rock Hudson's character had been going to some type of neurosurgeon, brain surgery school, and he dropped out because he's such a, he was rich family and such a playboy. He didn't have time for it. And his character kind of drove me crazy in the beginning. Well, the reality is that he finally was able to sit down with Jane Wyman's character. They got in a little upset. She jumps up and she gets hit by a car. And she's okay, but she loses her sight. Rock Hudson feels so guilty. And then he befriends her on a different level. Now, enter Otto Kruger. Many of you will remember Otto Kruger. He's an old guy. I've got a picture of him here I'm going to show you. Rock Hudson's character was out and about, and he was drinking a little heavily and got in a little fender bender and walked up to Otto Kruger's house, whose name was Mr. Randolph. Mr. Randolph starts to explain to him that Dr. Hudson was a good friend of his and how tragic it was, not knowing that everyone was blaming Rock Hudson. Yeah, right? Hello. Oh, what a tangled web we weave. But here's the cool part. Otto Kruger, Mr. Randolph, is an artist. And he said, I was a mediocre artist until I met Dr. Hudson. And it was because of him I'm now flourishing. Rock Hudson says, why? Why? How is that? Otto Kruger starts explaining based on one verse, in one chapter, 4 verses of the Bible, right? Back in 1950. And this just went wild worldwide of fooled ya. Okay, sorry. Something happened. It's that StreamYardy thing. I've been having trouble with the tube here too. So if I'm late on your videos, I've been uploading them, but for some reason, the tube is trying to translate them and put closed captions on them when I don't want closed captions. Anyway. So little speed bump. And if you're just coming in, please do me a favor and bump that like button and subscribe, because quite frankly, hello, my darlings, you never know when I'm going to have a late night chat live with you. So you want to make sure that when you subscribe, you click on the subscribe button and you click on all notifications. That way you can come in, because I love to see you. We may have one very soon. So I want you to be there. Okay. So my darlings, always spooky happenings around the Zelda. Yes, my ring of plunder. Here we are. All right. So back to the story. This is where Otto Kruger I'm going to have to load everything up. I lost everything. This is where Otto Kruger starts explaining how this happens. And I love this one part because Otto Kruger says this was happening ever since one man died on the cross. And it's like you hear this little background, everything Hollywood, you hear this little background of the angels going, oh, it was just fantastic. I mean, it's fantastic. You got to watch the movie. But he explains, and here goes the laws of attraction, biblical. Now, I'm going to define this. Laws of attraction is how to attract. Manifestation is what happens after you attract. Get it? Manifestation is what you attract. So, law of attraction is how you do it. Manifestation is that you have it. A lot of people get that kind of mixed up. I said Manifestation Monday because, well, there's not a law of attraction day of the week. So, Manifestation Monday. So, my darlings, he starts talking about this. And he talks, let me load this up for you. You're going to love it. And let's see if our little tube will accept it. Now, we're talking about this movie, Magnificent. Oh, yeah. Well, it's not. But here, this is Otto Kruger on the left side and Rock Hudson. And Otto Kruger says in the movie, there's a source of infinite power. Plug it in and let it flow. Ooh, I love it. I love it. And let me show you another one. Let me show you. Let me show you. Here we are. There's a source of infinite power. Plug it in and let it flow. That's the most important thing. Now, how do you do that? Otto Kruger, that older gentleman talking to, and if you can see this movie, you have to. Magnificent Obsession, 1954 edition. The 1935 edition goes into it, but even the author, Lloyd C. Douglas, said, I don't really like that. And by the way, if you want to know who Lloyd C. Douglas is, have you ever heard of the movie at around Easter holiday time called The Robe? He wrote that too. So now, here's how he explains it. He says, you see that lamp there? The lamp has a light bulb. But if you don't plug into the power source that's down, and he says this because they live near a waterway, and it was 1950s, so you didn't have these big power plants. And he said, you plug in and the power source is the dam. So you get the power and it flows through here. But that plug can be plugged into your wall. And until you flip that switch, nothing is going to happen. And that's, of course, when the little angels sing and, all this other stuff. But I want to bring that to you tonight because I hear so many people say, Zelda, I'm not getting what I want. I can't help it. I try, and I'm trying so hard. Well, sometimes I think you're trying too hard. But I want you to do me a favor. On your phones, on your tablets, and I'm going to put your messages on the screen. So if you're watching on your television or iPad or wherever, you can see who's talking and who's not, because we're a talk. Get your little Bibles. And for those of you who are on a phone and don't have your Bible handy, this is not a Bible message, but it is definitely coming from the source of power. I want you to turn, and if you don't have it, you can. Love you, my darlings. You can listen along. I want you to turn to Matthew. I'm sorry, Matthew. Every time I say Matthew, I think of Gunsmoke. Why? Festus, Matthew. Okay, this is really important. This is so important because no matter what you believe, it's coming from the source, okay? So Matthew, here we are. Matthew chapter 6, verse 1. There's only 4 verses, and I'm going to explain to you what this means, not only in the English, but in the Greek. So hang in there, because we're deep diving, my darlings, and you know how I like to deep dive. Well, this is it. Welcome to the Deep Dive Manifestation Monday. Most people on these channels, and God love them, I watch them, but they spit out, they spew out scripture, not knowing what they're talking or not knowing where it comes from. God, be careful. That's why in the Bible it says we have to study chapter by chapter and verse by verse. If not, we take things out of context and look out. It can turn upside down. But here we go, reading from the book of Matthew, one of the 4 Gospels. And by the way, Matthew was a tax collector. Don't know if you know that or not. Luke was a physician. But Matthew being a tax collector means that he was used to writing things down in depth, in maybe good things. There we go. I can't think of the word. Anyway, we're moving on. In totality, taking extra notes. Here we go. Matthew. So for those of you who want to know, do this. Go to Bible Gateway. He was a scrivener. That's right. Go to Bible Gateway. Look up Matthew chapter 6, King James Version. Because if you read it in the NIV or all the NAKVG or PETA or any of these, you ain't going to get it because they don't do the translations correctly in many of these. So you can go to BibleGateway.com or just look up Matthew chapter 6, verse 1 through 4, King James Version, KVJ. Okay, here we go. You can follow along. If you don't have that, it's okay. You can write it down for later. Here we go. Buckle up, my darlings, because we're getting down into the word. Here we are. Matthew chapter 6, verse 1. Take heed. Hello, I can't see that far. Take heed that ye do not your alms before men. What are alms? ALMS. Your duties, your gifts, your giving, your whatever it is, however you want to explain. Don't do your alms, okay? Don't give your alms, your gifts, basically. That you do not your alms before men to be seen of them. Otherwise, ye have no reward of your Father in heaven. Now, I want you to know this. And we're going to, we're going to stay on point here because we don't want to get distracted. In the Greek, when it says to be seen of them, in the Greek, the word seen means theater. So what this is saying is don't make a big splash of things. So when you do something for someone, don't make a big splash. Don't make a big thing. And we'll go into that. And I don't think anybody here does it. But it goes on to say, that was verse 1. Verse 2, therefore, when thou dost thine alms, when you do your alms, your giving, do not sound a trumpet before thee, as hypocrites do. We all know that happens. In the synagogues and in the streets, that they may have glory of men. Verily I say unto thee, they have their reward. But when, this is verse number 3, but when thou doest alms, when you do your alms, when you do your giving, let not thy left hand know what the right is doing. Now, I'll explain that in a minute. Hold on, I can't see where the flip. That thine alms may be in secret, and that the Father which seeth in secret himself shall reward thee in open. So what is this saying? What is this saying? It basically says, watch yourself. Don't do it. Don't give for a splash. Don't give because you want to be a big shot in front of somebody else. In the synagogues, meaning in the gatherings, in the churches, in the whatever, or in the streets, or on social media, I've seen that. And I call people out on it too. I'm telling you, I don't like it. Now I want to go back to the Greek for a second, because where it says, but when thou doest alms, your giving, let not thy left hand know what thy right hand doeth. I'm going to come down here. I copied this in Greek, but why did I do it so small? It means when you do a hand, it's outreach. Let not your outreached hand let the other one know, because it's making a point here. You're supposed to do it in so secret. You're not supposed to be saying, oh, here I am. Oh, yes, now when I do this today, somebody's going to look at me and they're going to thinking that I'm a good person. You have to do it. You have to do it in secret. And that's what this whole thing with magnificent obsession is all about. Otto Kruger tells Rock Hudson's character, so when you give, and it's not always about money, so when you give or you do it in secret. And you don't tell, and you tell the person not to tell. So if you give somebody $100, you tell them, look, I really would love if you just don't share this with anybody. That's all you have to do. Just don't share it. I want you to be blessed. This is between you and me and the man upstairs. And I just want to show you that you are loved. And I want you to know that I want to help you. That's it. And then if they say, well, do I pay you back? Say, no, because that's part of it too. You don't want to be paid back because the Father in heaven rewards you openly. How does that happen? Well, things start working out for you. You get to go places. There's doors that open, opportunity that comes in around you. It is quite amazing. And I have lived ever since I saw my years ago, this movie, I have tried to live that. Tried meaning I don't boast about it, but we're not supposed to boast about it. Yes, and then in, what was it, 2001, I think is what it was, maybe, I can't remember, when that movie Pay It Forward came out. That was a wonderful movie, all about a little boy who wanted to pay it forward, who started a movement. But we're not here to start a movement. Because here's what happens when you start doing, and you do in secret, and you don't announce it, you don't send out, and like I said, I've seen this on social media, and I'm one to call people out. Sorry, I just am. So when I see this, pardon me, on social media, there's one in particular woman, and I'm blocked now because she would come on there and rant. You know what? I gave this person $100. And they were just begging all over the, and they can't even say thank you. They can't even come on here and they can't thank me for anything. And they can't say, if you don't want to give it, don't give it. And that's always me. If you don't want to give it, don't give it. We're not supposed to expect anything in return because our reward comes from above. That would drive you crazy. And it drove me crazy too. Hello. I've lived it. I've lived it all of my life. Now, here is the warning. You don't do this so you can get. You don't do it so you can get. You do it so that that flow starts coming within you. And because here's the great thing. The more you have, the more you can give help. And the more you give, it's just this wonderful, beautiful circle of energy. Because remember, energy cannot be created or destroyed, so it changes. Right? So you've got this wonderful part. Do it from the heart. If somebody doesn't say thank you, that's not your problem. That's theirs. You've done what you have been asked to do, and that's it. The contract stops there. When you reach down into the Greek Septuagint, when you reach down into the Greek and the Chaldee, when you're into the New Testament and you see there's so much more, it's like reading tomorrow's newspaper. There's so much more to it. And explaining it as, look, don't be no big boaster. Do it in secret to the point where you forget it. Don't let your left hand knowest what your right hand doeth. That's because you're supposed to forget. You're supposed to do it and then just forget about it. That's it. Boom. Now be careful of who you give to. That's another little warning. It's not in the movie. It is in the Bible later on, and maybe one of these days we'll talk about. But be careful who you give to. Because if you give to someone that you know has a false ministry or is a false prophet, or you know they're going to harm someone or commit a crime, and you give them, spiritually, the man upstairs counts you and me, if we do that, an accessory. We certainly don't want to be that. We don't want to do that, do we? No. And we're not going to do that. No. So what are the alms giving? Okay, it doesn't have to be money. Many people come to me and they'll say, oh my gosh, you're talking about me giving and I can't give. When you went out today, did you give somebody a smile that they really needed? I've known that type of person too. When you're out and about, oh, did you see me? I stopped and prayed for that person. Did you see? Oh, I stopped and gave her a smile. Did you see? That's right. Accessory to grifters. That's right. You see the grifter up here? I have my little thing up there. There you go. Thank you very much. I'm just kidding. But the reality is, my darlings, it is all about keeping it. The other warning is don't do this to get, because it'll backfire on you. It'll backfire. I know those people who want to give yourself rich, and it happens to a certain extent. And then all of a sudden you wake up one day and your partner is divorcing you, and somebody's taken this money, and you've had this financial loss, and somebody's come to do this. And so in the movie, you'll love this part. After Jane Wyman has this accident, she walks out and a car hits her and she's blind. Rock Hudson and all of his money arranges her to go to Europe and see these doctors from France and Germany and all these wonderful doctors. They all look at her and they say, well, I'm sorry, we can't operate. She's so devastated and upset, but she had started falling in love with Rock Hudson's character, but Rock Hudson didn't let her know that it was him. So he shows up at the hotel room with her nurse companion that she's good friends with, and her the daughter of her former husband. And they're like, can't believe that he did this for her. And he's like, be careful. Don't say anything. That's the deal. So she was so verklempt. She was so just brokenhearted. He goes up to her and he says, look, I want to show you Paris. Let's go out. He asks her to marry him. It was a beautiful scene. She leaves the next day because she doesn't want to be a burden to him. He doesn't know where he is or she is. So he ends up going back to university, to medical school, and he's now a doctor. 6-7 years go by. They find her. Things are getting bad. She's hospitalized. They find him. This Otto Kruger fellow comes and says, look, you got to help us. You're the only neurosurgeon that knows what you're doing. You got to help us. They race to her bedside. He wants to operate, but he's nervous. Finally, the nurse companion for Jane Wyman says, I'm here. I will assist you, doctor. He operates on her, and at the end of the movie, she starts to see. And of course, all is well. Now, there's some little messages in that. And the little messages in this are this. Sometimes pain will push us. And of course, Jane Wyman's character was feeling pain because she had been blinded because of the car accident. But the guilt that Rock Hudson's character felt was due to wanting to do something, wanting to help others, being pushed, and he ended up finishing med school. Now, isn't that a wonder that the universe will do that for us? Sometimes when we're down, and it just seems like things aren't going in our way, but sometimes we have to have pain push us. What type of pain? I'm not talking too much about physical pain. I'm talking about feeling bad, anxious, anxiety, all for everything that we go through, making wrong decisions. But in order to ever graduate, we all have to be tested. Have you ever noticed that? No matter what we do, we go through tests. We go through primary school, junior high, high school, we're tested. We want to go to university, med school, law school, wherever we're going, we have to be, and especially if we want to be credentialed in our later years, we have to be tested. Yes, that's right. Even to graduate. But to graduate and to go to the next level, we have to pass that test. And many times, many of us can't. And we're looping on this little hamster wheel that keeps going round and round and round. The loop and the hamster wheel is basically there for us to say, look, okay, you didn't learn the lesson the first time. Maybe you're going to learn it the second. The universe has all the time in the world. Maybe you do too. Maybe I do. I've been through that. I went through a time in my life that I attracted alcoholics and horrible people. I really don't know why, but I did. And I think it was because I just thought I could settle. I had to raise my expectations. I had to raise the bar. And when I did that and decided enough is enough, it never happened again. And I graduated from that. Now, if that is happening with you today, I want you to sit back and take stock of this. And I want you to take stock of what we've learned. And what is the bigger picture for you? What is your purpose? And if you say, well, Zelda, I don't really know. I don't really have a purpose. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. It's just that you may not have found it yet. I feel I'm living my life purpose to an extent, but here's the rub. I've got so much more ahead of me that I know that I was a bartender, but I never drank. And the people that I went with were never my patrons. I don't do that. Don't do that. So it was and is every day, wake up and think, oh, I'm so excited about today because I've got this and this and this. And I'm so excited about today because this is coming and that's doing, and this is doing this, and this is, and look at this, and look at the progress there, and look at here. And you know what helps you? If you write out the night before what your plan is for tomorrow. And if some of you say, well, I don't have a plan. Yes, you do. You're planning on getting up in the morning, having a little time in the water closet, getting dressed, having a cup of coffee, going to work. What's the plan? Maybe you can load a dishwasher. Maybe you can do this. Maybe you can do that. And you're going to now start feeling that you now have this purpose, because you're going to start feeling like all of a sudden, wow, you got something to look forward to. Instead of dreading work, understanding that, yeah, that particular job or employment or wherever may not be what you really want. However, you don't want to be on the street, because there's many people who would love to come in and take your job. And that's why you got to fall in place. You got to fall in love with what you're doing. You don't have to like it, but you can be grateful and happy and say, whoa, okay, I got through another week. You know, it's so funny because I have never been able to understand, and maybe it's because I'm the weird one, but I love the week. I can't wait until Monday. On the weekends, sure, it's nice to chill and it's nice to this, but you know what? I have so much life to live. I don't want to waste one moment. And when you get into this, and when you're talking about what we've talked about tonight, I want you to try to, you can see little Googles and snippets and this and that and everything on the tube here or on Tubi, Plex, Amazon Prime. It is worth you seeing this. It is worth this. And here's the last thing. There is a source of infinite power. And when you plug it in and let it flow, it works for you. There's one more little image that I want to show you. And this is going to tell you how, because I know that's the next question. How do you do it? How do you do it? How do you plug in? Well, think of it this way. You have this little switch within you. We all have the little switch. Sometimes it's that little switch that will keep us from, knowing the difference between right and wrong. That's the switch. But just because we have a lamp or a television or whatever the case may be, plugged in, the current is cut off. So this is what you do. You plug in. That begins with the humility. Do a kindness without recognition. If you go through McDonald's and you're getting an iced coffee and you see the guy behind you, buy them an iced coffee or buy their little meal too, if you can. If you can't, okay, then there's something else that you can do, but you do it in private. You do it with humility and you don't expect anything in return. And if someone approaches you and says, oh my gosh, can I pay you back? Can I do this? Can I do? You say, no, no. I want you to be happy. I want you to be blessed. And I want you to someday do that for someone else. Because listen, here's how it goes, my darlings. When you do it for someone else, you give to someone else, and then they in turn give to somebody else, and then they in turn guess who gets all the rewards for starting that giving chain? Guess who's up for the reward day? Hey, I'm there. Color me there. Number 2, connect. Hold the cord. Your secret act links you to the source. Covet that source. Tell God that he is good. Because, in Zechariah, the book of Zechariah, it says, when you get closer to him, he gets closer to you. So if you're in need in something, my darlings, it's time to get close to him. Instead of just asking when you need something. Number 3, the flow. Release and trust. Let the blessings circle back in silence, and they will. Just like that train of blessings, the chain of blessings that will come on through. Listen, the way things are for me right now, I kind of have to say this, grinning and thinking, wow, I think I'm collecting on what I did in 1974. I hope I am. Because you know what? For the good acts, they help to smooth over the not so good things that we've all done. Not so good things. We're not even going to pretend that doesn't happen. But that's how you do it. You plug the switch in. You plug the switch in. And then you watch it flow. How do you plug? You start a plan. Now, in my planner, if I showed it to you, you would see, do something good for somebody today. And I help other people in business, in the financial world and other things I do, whatever. I always ask, before we hang up the call or before we're done with the text, what is it I can do for you today? Is there anything more I can do for you? If you need something more, what can I do? When you start implementing just those little things, just little things, you will be so surprised at how things are working and how they will circle back. They come back, circle back. And you can stand here and say, I'm here for it. Thank you. Thank you. And don't forget to say thank you. But if you want to look at the true law of attraction, now, what is all this stuff about the money, or I'm sorry, my train of thought got derailed. I looked at a chat and I got distracted, and I know I'm not supposed to do that. Bad, Zelda. Give me a second. I'm going to have a drink. Maybe that'll help me. I'll think of it. So when you get to the point, this will start coming to you automatically and just start coming to you. There won't be a question. Why? Because this should not be anything that you force. This is a lifestyle. This is how we are to live. So between the Proverbs, and if you are listening to those, and I know some of you say, well, I can't understand them. I want you to look at it as wisdom. What is wisdom? It's guidance. Wisdom, direction, it's guidance. Common sense, wisdom, common sense. And that is, who is that meowing and being a menace to society? Who are you? It's Bilbo, the bag man. Now, Sammy's down here. She was mad at me earlier. Now, listen. Roxy, if you are in the chat, Roxy sent, I took a picture. Roxy sent this. Let me see if I can pull it up and y'all can see this, because you're, oh my gosh, this is so hilarious. There it is. You say, oh, maybe you can't see it. Roxy D. Bell sent that little contraption, and see all those marks on the floor? That's from the toys that came with this little something something right there. And that's Petey's tail. He has sat in that thing since I got it hours ago. There you go, Roxy. Bless you, my darling. She sent that, and listen. Bless you for taking care, because it takes care. I have sat here and laughed at this. Talk about full of cornflakes. These, I almost said people, these kitties, well, they are my people, that have been carrying on and playing, and to the point where I'm like, oh my gosh, they'll all be sleeping tonight very, very well. And they've needed a little exercise. So this is very good. So thank you, my darling. Thank you very much for that, because that was, and Petey sitting in there with that little tail hanging out. He's been in there. He's a Bubba, and he won't let anybody else in, and it just cracks me up. What a blessing. What a blessing. It's a cat. It's the cat 3. It's the 3 tunnel cat thing in my Amazon wish list. Well, they love it. Thank you. By being good to them is good to me, because I love it. Thank you so much. So and it's bright color, and they are, cats go crazy over bright color, and especially green and red, because those are the colors that they see the most. And that's why at Christmas they attack the Christmas trees, and they attack Christmas decorations. It's because red and green are their colors. Anyway. Oh, I'm sorry, misbehaving. Bless you. I know that's hard. I'm sorry. Oh, Abigail, thank you so much, honey. Listen, I'm going to tell you what these nails. $3.99 Amazon. And listen, I'm not going to gatekeep. $3.99 Amazon press-on. I lost a little jewel. See, there's 2 jewels. I lost a little jewel today. Oh, I had to figure out. Oh, wait, hello. Yeah, right finger. Okay, I was thinking, oh my gosh, I'm not giving you guys the Canton salute, am I? Okay, so I lost a little jewel on one of them, but that's okay. I got jewels. Got jewels. I'm good. I love them. Thank you so much. So you see, my darlings, this is how to plug in. This is how to plug in. And the moment that you, hi, my darlings, welcome to come on in. Welcome, welcome. And the moment that you plug into source, Remember, that's your source. It's everything. You've got to remember the universe. God made the universe. Trust the source. Because sometimes I think our angels just sit here. Okay, when you figure it out, we'll kick in again. And why wouldn't they sometimes? Why wouldn't they? Anyway, I was talking about the Proverbs. If you're listening to them daily, I want you to think this way when you listen to them. They are for instruction. And I think if you really listen, because yes, there's a lot of thee, thou, doest, dost, all that. But you can get it because it's all about common sense and it's all about doing the right thing. And I can tell you this. Hi, Mary, my darling. I can tell you this. Just people who don't understand the Proverbs, and if you go to this channel and you listen, there's a playlist of the Proverbs. You start from one and you play them, and you like chapter by chapter, verse by verse. Just do it every month. There's 31 chapters in the book of Proverbs. You just do it every month and you start over. I know people who have went from homeless, broke, serious, homeless, broke, broken relationships, broken, to within 30 days, having a job that they love, finding a new love of your life. Amazing. It's here. It's here. Dust that word off. Dust it off. It's here for us. Now, I remember what I was going to tell you. All of this paying it forward, all of this giving in secret, there is also a universal law that has a name of that. And I know you've heard me talk about it before. It is called the law of reciprocity. What is the law of reciprocity, Zelda? My gosh. The law of reciprocity is when you give, you don't worry about receiving, because you will definitely receive, and sometimes up to 10 times and more blessings in your barn and in your storehouse. That's the law of reciprocity. But here's the rub on the laws of reciprocity. First of all, I used to be an excellent giver, but I stunk at receiving. And sometimes I still, because I have always given. And then when somebody wants to give to me, and it's hard for me to ask, there's been times I've had to ask for help. But there have also been times where people just give to me, and sometimes I'm a stinky receiver. And I want you to know something, because I grew up in a family, and especially with a mother and a grandmother, from 1954, grandmother Claudette Colbert, mother Grace Kelly type. The thing is this, the law of reciprocity, is when somebody tries to give you, if somebody tries to give you something and you refuse it because it embarrasses you, you screw up their blessing. Oh, look out. And when I figured that out, because my mom, my grandmother, it wouldn't matter if it were a dish from a church potluck. If somebody would try to give something to my mom, she would be, oh, no, that's okay. No, and I know where that comes from. It's not an embarrassment. It's just that they didn't want to put anybody out. They didn't want to take anything that they thought that they could use later. So they would go through this whole dissertation. Are you sure? Do you think maybe sort of kind of that you now if you want it back, it's always yours. You want me to tape your name on the bottom of it? I've got a magic marker that will work on that will work on China, and I'll put your name on the bottom. If you ever want it back, oh, forevermore, you go through this for 15 minutes and you be sitting there, and I would want to say, all right, I'd be like, anybody remember the Honeymooners when Jackie Gleason would get upset with Art Carney's character and he'd be all right already? That's exactly how I felt. And you could see in that person who was trying to give, regardless of what it is, that it was becoming painful and embarrassing to them, to the point where they would say, if someone wants to give us something, we are to say thank you. That's it. That is the law of reciprocity. And then watch their blessing and watch yours. Because guess what? The law of reciprocity, because you received what they were giving you in their heart and you received, not only will you be blessed by what they've given you, you can turn around and watch them be blessed too. Hello, knock on the door. Hello. Norton. That's right. Thank you, Mitchell. Thank you. Norton, all right already, right? That is the coolest part, I think, one of the coolest parts of the laws of manifestation, the law of reciprocity. The law of reciprocity. Now remember, don't do it to be getting, because then, hello, it's over. If you're looking for a reward in open, it ain't going to come in open and it ain't going to come in private either, because you're doing it for all the wrong reasons. You have to do it from the heart. Now I love this. Mary said here, it works. There's a little book. We've talked about it before. It is on the tube. I want you to, one of the things I want you to, one of the things I want you to do is I want you to think about these things. Hold on. Hello. Look who's here. It's the Noodle Boy. It's Shaggy Noodle. I want you to think about what you can. This is Shaggy Noodle. He's looking over at Sam because he knows that Sam is my girl, and she when she doesn't like it, she'll go on the attack. Anyway, hi there, everyone. Welcome. And do me a favor when you're coming in, give me the bump. And all of you know what the bump is. Give me the bump, please. Give me the bump, please. And if you feel like helping out your grifter psychic, your favorite one, by the way, much appreciated and never expected. I got to say that. Jerry always says to me, say that. I'm going to say it. Thank you. But I want you to now start really actively deep diving into this, because you shouldn't have to be hearing this just one time in a week, right? I want you to hear it over and over. That's why the Proverbs are on this channel. Thank you, Kat. That's why the Proverbs are on this channel. That's why I'm telling you to go and look at these other sources. I would read that book to you, that it works, but I'll be copyrighted because it's not copyright free, and I can't sit here and read, and I don't want to take the chance because the tube. One bump, thank you. But it's called It Works. And it's the same, it's the same premise. But you got I'm going to give you a little homework. Look for that movie, Magnificent Obsession. Either one is fine. I prefer the 1954. It's in color. You won't get bored. You won't get, all that. Look at that. Watch it. Wait for the part where you see Otto Kruger talking about and the man who died on the cross. And you hear the angels sing, ah, which always cracks me up, but let's do it, Hollywood. Why not? Where do you do the bump at? On the like button. That's the bump. That's the bump. Like button. Then, sorry, I'm looking at the chat. Okay. That's your first little homework. If you can't find it, it's okay, but they've got bits and kibbles on the tube here. The second one is, I know they have it on here. It's called It Works. It's less than 10 minutes to listen to it. Less than 10 minutes. Yeah, the bump is from Donna Adelson's. It was the FBI investigation, Covert Activity. Don't you love covert? And there's something I want to say about Donna Adelson when we're done. If you're all here for it. Maybe I'll go live later. Roxy, the name of the movie is Magnificent Obsession. And the name of this it's an audiobook. It's from turn of the last century. It's like me. It's called It Works. Fantastic. And again, I would read it to you, but I'll get, and we don't want that. Thank you, Mary. I love you. Thank you, my darling. Thank you. Another error. Is it me? I don't see any errors on my end. Okay, so it's difficult to fend with small moments. Lady is hardcore. Hey, I'm not going to beat around the bush. We don't have time. Why? What, Zelda? What? No. You need to start living yesterday. You need to start living now. By living this lifestyle. And believe me, listen, I've had some hard times. And those in here that know me know hard times. But you know what? You have to put that behind you. You can't live that. Because if you don't, those hard times, you reach into your past and you bring them into your present. And the next thing you know, those hard times become the future. You don't want that. They're in the past. You can't change it. Forget about it. Go on. You're forgiven. Everybody else is forgiven. Stop. Let's stop. Go on. Get her done. Start living. And this is the way. And because, see, most people, oh, but Zelda, I've tried manifesting and it doesn't work. That's why. Why? And I feel like I'm having that conversation. Remember the old gig, the old skit between, what was it? Who's on first? I feel like I'm having that roundabout. Who's on first? No. Who's on second? No. Who's on first? Right? Hello. Got the bangs mixed up. It's not even about believing. It's about living it. It's about living it. When you proclaim and you claim that things aren't working for you, or here's the other one. Are you ready for this one? And you got to wean yourself off of this. We ask for help. We ask for help from above, the universe, God, the universe. We ask for help. We ask, yes, it is by RHJ. It works. We ask for help. And because It's the famous little book. It is on Amazon if you want to order it, my darlings, but it is free to listen to on the tube. But we ask for help. Now, we get on our own way more than anybody else. And the fact that we get in our own way, what does that mean? Good. Bravo. What does that mean? We get in our own way. Well, I asked for help 20 minutes ago. I don't see anything happening. Hello? Oh, hi, yes. You know what? This is not, and complain and complain and complain and complain. Stop. Because you know what? That person that you're complaining to is probably in worse shape than what you are, and they can't help you. And all you're doing is opening up the door for them to start belly aching and ranting, and you're going to be belly aching and ranting. And before you know it, you've spent an hour belly aching and ranting, and you get off the phone and say, God, why haven't this happened? and you just have to say, sometimes we get in our own way. Sometimes we just have to say, well, you can do this. You can live this life. Okay, so sometimes things don't work out the way they should. I've heard that too. Well, sometimes, this isn't. No answer is your answer. No, it's not. Stop it. It means that the universe is moving things around. I call it, this is my own, I've coined this phrase, the God noun factor. When he moves around people, places, and things in our lives, because sometimes it ain't all about us. Sometimes someone else over here may be asking for something, and it may indirectly affect us. So there's some moving around happening. And if you're asking for a new partner or a new relationship and you're upset, you know what? It's not all about. Sometimes God in the universe has to take the baggage away from the perfect person that's getting ready to come in for you. And it doesn't matter how much you push. It doesn't matter how much you pull. Look, you can't push a rope. It's going to happen when you ask for help. It is going to happen when it's going to happen. And what do you do in between time? You laugh. You live. You don't live in sorrow. You don't hang your head. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. Someone in the chat, Mercury star, frequency of weight. That's absolutely correct. And I want you to know something. When you call someone, anybody, the number you have dialed, remember that? The number you have dialed, but the number that you have dialed is the frequency to the other person. Stop it. You're using frequency? Yes. That's what a number is. Do you know that? When you dial in a frequency, do you remember those little pop, 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 pop? That's a frequency that you're dialing. And even though you don't hear it any longer, that's what a number is. It's the frequency of how it goes through the airwaves. Because that frequency, that one number is yours. It's just like DNA. It's your number. Nobody else has it. If somebody is going to connect with you, that's how they do it. And if they don't have your number, they ain't connecting. And that's how that works. You're using frequency and vibration daily and don't even realize it. Oh, look, there's my hello. That's what a number is for. It's all binary. My darling, I'm telling you, you know what this is? This And I've got to say this. This is the part that just excites the tar out of me, because you have the spiritual on one side and you have the science on the other. And sometimes they do meet. Sometimes they do meet. And you know what happens when they meet? It's the most beautiful explanation in the whole world, because you know what this is? This isn't magic. It is physics. Law of attraction is quantum physics. And you know who invented all that? I don't have to tell you. That is why, and if you want to study that, the physics end of it, the quantum physics of it, of a believer, try Nikola Tesla. Try Nikola Tesla, who came up with his own spirit box. Hello, completely different. But also who came up with 369, who also came so many wondrous things, but it is physics. You can't refute physics. It's not magic. It's not. I've had these conversations with many people that get so upset and they just don't understand. Understand. You know where that's from. They just don't understand that we are so much more than what's on the surface. We're so much more. We're so much more intelligent. And yet many times we allow ourselves to be dictated to by our own feelings, our own thoughts. And my darlings, your thoughts are not the facts. The facts are the facts. Your thoughts are not the facts. And sometimes we get so much in our head, or we take all our little eggs in our basket and we hand them over to someone else in our life that we want to be with, or we want to share our lives with. And we allow them to dictate how we feel, where we're going in a relationship, where we're going, what we're doing. Hello. Hello. Is this not you we're talking about? Hello. Is it? I do this not for my health, not for the money, but because it drives me crazy, seriously, to see what we see in social media these days, to see what we see around us. I got to tell you this. You live this lifestyle the way you want, and it doesn't matter about the economy, because you, my darlings, choose your own economy. Economy doesn't matter. You make your own economy. It doesn't matter what the circumstances are around you. You will flourish. If you live the right way and you use these, I don't even want to say techniques, but the laws in your favor. If you want to get down and dirty, I'm going to put it back up again. I have written the Biblical Laws of Attraction ebook. I got to tweak it a little bit. It talks about the reticular activating system, that bundle of nerves back here that is your GPS. It talks about being thankful. It talks about the laws of reciprocity. It talks about all these things. And the law down and dirty, that's right. And I also want to tell you this, my dear. And look, this is Sam. This is my little Sam Iambi. Oh, look, she's mad. She's mad at mommy. Oh, listen. She comes around to me and collects rent. Let me tell you, she's the boss of the applesauce. She's mommy's girl. Look at this. Look at this. Mama Sammy. She's my boss right here. You can see this. But in this true biblical laws of attraction, it's all you're going to need. You don't need the fluff. You don't need anything. You don't need any of that. And when you learn, and when I was talking about the reticular activating system right back here, it teaches you all about this. It by just using simple guidance, wisdom, understanding, and direction that we have all needed. When you can start loving yourself first and foremost, I never did. I was so timid. In fact, I'm going to tell you, I think I've talked about this before. If Mrs. Marie is watching, she'll tell you. But I was so timid about going live on here. Now, hello, you can't keep me off. But it was so horrible for me. And the reason, and why it was so, I looked bad going live because I felt bad, if that makes sense. If you look back at my old videos, you'll say, oh, Zell, you have changed. I have. Because I changed how I felt about myself. Oh, somebody's having a hard time. Riley, are you okay, buddy? I suppose so. Anyway, I had to get over myself. I had to get over myself. And I'm going to tell you something. Do you hear this purring? I'll put this up here. Thank you so much. I've got this lawyer friend. Bless him. He and his wife are so nice. And he'll keep telling me, Zelda, you just need a man. Zelda, someday, my prince won't come because I don't want him. Maybe that will change. Maybe that will change. But right now, this might sound weird to some of you, but I want you to feel the same way. I love myself so much, and what I am doing, I am not willing to give that up for nobody. And I mean nobody. Of course, if the Lord dropped down in front of me right now and said, oh, okay, well, all right. Beyond that factor, because I have been there, I have been with that partner who squelched me and held me back and didn't want me to have this life, and if you looked at my journal, every day I said, what are you grateful for? I'm grateful for the creativity, for the opportunity, for the classes that I take, for everything. Hello. Rosebud, there you go. I love my own company, and I am not afraid to go to a movie by myself. If I want to go, I tell my son, hey, I'm going to a movie. If he wants to come, he'll say, oh, okay. I don't sit around and wait for nothing. I'm not into that partner who looks at me as a domestic goddess. Been there, done that. Yes, I can cook. Yes, I can clean. I can sew. I just had my sewing machine out yesterday. I can do all the things, but I'm not going to give it up. I love me and I love my life, and I'm not going to give that up for nobody. And I'm not going to sit and whine and cry about it. And I want you to know, when you can get to that point where you love yourself so bloody much that you're not willing to compromise one little iota of your life, guess what's going to happen? Oh, somebody will come into my life someday, I'm sure. I'm not worried about it. But I think to myself, oh my gosh, that's a song. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world, right? But I think to myself, hello, if I had somebody in my life right now, would I be a slave in the kitchen? Hey, it's 8:30. What's for supper? DoorDash. Hey, it's are you live again? Why do people come to you for readings? Oh, I've had it. Why is this? Why do you have to wear makeup all the time? Why do you wear those weird glasses? Why do you wear that scuzzy red lipstick? Oh, what do you mean? You want to go ghost hunting? Who are you going with? Is he tall? Is he handsome? Oh, it's another woman? Well, shall we talk about this? Look, I'm not sitting under a light, and no one is going to ask me or interrogate me. I want you all to feel. Now, I don't want you to be alone. I don't want you to be alone. That's not what this is all about. But I want you to love yourself enough that you don't lower your standards and let any turd in like I had done in the past, that I probably have lost 15, 20 years of my life dealing with turd activities. I want you to live the best life now. See, good for Captain Jerry, because Captain Jerry's got a wonderful relationship with her husband. And that is a blessing. Right there is a blessing. Now, somebody drops down in front of me and says, Zelda, what do you blah, blah, blah. Hey, you just don't know. I'm open to it if he does what I want him to. No, that's wrong. I'm just saying that. Hello. That's low. Yes, I want to go ghost hunting with Richie. Richie is fine, but Richie doesn't want a cougar. Wow. Richie is good looking, easy on the eyes. But can you imagine Miss Melanie, Richie, myself, pardon me. Oops, somebody's got her fingernail here. But you see what I'm saying? And I'm putting all of this on for you because I really want to deter activities, right? But hey, listen, if there is a Fed agent by the name of Agent Oobligada, right, Mitchell? If there's an agent by the name out there, if you are Agent Oobligada, see, Sam's all ready for it. Never say never. That's right. Never say never. Hey, if the time is right and one comes along, great. But listen, and you know what really makes it hard, my darlings? I'm on the psychic end of it. So when people call me, it's, is my husband cheating? Is my wife cheating? Is this happening? Is that happening? Oh, this is bad. This is bad. This is bad. So it's like, I don't want that again. I've been there, done that. He is a nice man, Wallflower. He is nice. He is nice. He's a wonderful man. See, that's right, Denise. I'll never say never, but life will go on, right? And so I want to back up a little bit because, I am a workaholic. Workaholics are great for if you need more time to yourself, your work, your cats, just saying, right? And you know what? It seems like I'm a workaholic, but I don't like to call it work because I enjoy this so much. I am enjoying what I do so much that this is, I live, breathe, eat. I love this. I mean, my son and I were kind of laughing last night is, look, if I ever get really down and out and, I'm at least 101 or 102, you may have to hold that phone stick over me so I can say, hello, everyone. Welcome to Seeing Crime, right? Because I ain't got no quit, as Alan Jackson says. I am living my enjoyment. How have I done that? Well, my friends, you know the story. You know the story. I mean, I was in horrible situations, civil legal problems, financially, horrible relationship. Won't go into it. Living under a bridge, and here I am today. And I'm not going back. I'm not going back there. I won't invite that into my life again. That's what it's all about. All of this research, listen, I got to tell you, I always on Friday night, I start thinking, what is going to be a good topic for Manifestation Monday? Because I love this. What is going to be a good topic? Manifestation Monday. What is a great topic? What can we talk about? And I had been thinking about that movie the other day and I found it, and then I forgot where I found it. Hello. And I was thinking about that. And then when I went into my room last night, because this one and I always cuddle and we watch an old movie, and hello, I try to catch up with the talkie ticks and all that stuff. There you go, Rosebud. And I turn on my favorite channel, Turner Classic Movies, and what do I see? The 1935 Magnificent Obsession. And what did I say? There it is. That I knew that was what I was supposed to be talking about tonight. So what happened? I got up this morning. I started making notes. I started looking into it. I started looking into those 4 little verses. What does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean? And then here we are. And we always kind of get off. All right. So there we are, my darlings. There we are. Homework, Magnificent Obsession movie or snippets. Okay. Homework, it works. And Martha here has got the book. Get the book, read it, read it, read it, read it. Get it into you to the point where it just comes. It is not second nature. It is first nature. It is first nature. It is, Sammy does control the remote. So listen, I have to lock my phone because Sam will get on my phone and scroll on the phone if she sees something happening. Right, sister? She's a girl, I'm telling you. She's a girl. And it's all, you're going to start living this. You're going to start living, and you can. Right now, done. You can. Right now. It's up to you. It's up to you. Now, I want to tell you something. If I can talk about Donna Adelson just for a second, and I may go live later, I don't know. Depends on what I'm doing. Donna Adelson. Wendy Adelson made a comment, and I can't help myself. I have to talk about this immediately. Wendy Adelson, I always call them Adelson because to me they remind me of adders, the snakes. Anyway, Adelson, she might testify tomorrow. She might. But in her police interview that I was listening into, she was a boo-hooing. Wham. And they were talking. She's like, what do I do? Who would I call? She calling her mom. Yeah, the boys are okay. Wham, wham. And they pretty much, the police are sitting there with her. And then they look at her and said, oh, he's not dead. And you could see the shock and the horror. You know that from. The shock and the horror. And she said he's not dead. And the first thing, the owl group, and the first thing that she says is, well, isn't that a game changer? Game changer? Wendy, what are we talking about? Game changer? Hello? What is a game changer? When she said that, I thought, oh, you're hit, girl. You're hit. Hello. Game changer. That's a game changer. Why would it be a game? Why is it a game changer? What are you talking about? Could it be that you wore the owl t-shirt the day that this happened? That you wanted? That was a signal, by the way. Her wearing the owl t-shirt, that was a signal. We'll talk about that some other time later, but I just wanted to let you know that. Just wanted to share that with you, that that's what I was picking up on. Yes, I think that was all a part of the facade. And it's about ready for me to make dinner. I'll tell you what I'm having. I've made some homemade fried rice. I love it. I get the angel hair cabbage because I don't want to be sitting in here with a big choppy knife, have cabbage all over the bloody place. Get the coleslaw mix, my darlings. It's cabbage, it's carrot, it fries up. So get your coleslaw mix. That's the game changer right there. Get you the coleslaw mix. Tonight, this is what I'm making tonight. I made it already. I just have to add the cabbage and we're good to go. Now, I'm going to tell you how I make my rice. Are you ready? This is going to blow your mind, and it turns out perfect every time. 3 cups of water, 2 bouillon cubes, or 2 teaspoons, I like sometimes a little bit more, of the bouillon chicken granules in my water. First of all, back up. Hello. Just get that stuff ready. Just kidding. Just get that stuff ready. What you want to do is don't rinse your rice. I know everybody tells you to, but this will take care of what rinsing your rice does. 1 cup of rice in about a tablespoon of olive oil. I mix olive oil and butter because I like that taste, right? So I mix that around, and you saute your rice until it gets a little on the toasty side. Then, there you go, Mitchell. Then 3 cups of water. I ain't kidding. 3 cups of water. I'm making a cookbook. 3 cups of water, and then you add the 2 teaspoons. Sometimes I live on the wild side and I do a whole tablespoon of chicken bouillon. Or if you don't have chicken, do the vegetable bouillon, whatever floats your little kayaks. Then floats your yachts, whatever floats your yachts. No, I haven't had it. I'm going to tell you why I haven't made a cooking video in a minute. And then you turn that up until it simmers. You put a lid on it and you do not raise it. You let that go for 10 minutes. Now, sometimes I have to sneak because I've got an old stove and I might have to give it a little stirry. But you'll do that and you'll see. Now, I have a pot with a glass lid and I love it because you can see when pretty much your rice is done. When it's done, don't do anything. Take it off of the heat and let it sit for about 10 minutes. And that way, any liquid that's left over is absorbed. You lift the lid, you take your little fork and you fluff, and it is the most delicious. I make Mexican rice that way. I make fried rice that way. Now, oh, it's tender, but it's not mushy. It's the most tender. It's the most tender rice you'd ever want to. And another in a saute pan, usually in my iron skillet. I like using my iron skillets. I use the Angel. Yes, House of Zelda cookbook is coming. It's going to be Psychic Snacks and Divine Dinners. So I get the Angel, the Angel hair cabbage. It's the coleslaw mix. If they don't have that, then I just use a regular coleslaw mix because it has the carrot in it too. Who wants to sit here and have little pieces of carrot flush all over? No. The work is done. You do that, boom. You saute that up until it gets really nice and flimsy. I'm going to say that. And good, very good. Of course, salt, pepper, little soy sauce, blah, blah, blah. Then I add in vegetables, peas. It's already got carrot and cabbage. Then I add peas, sometimes a little bit of corn if I've got some that's left over. We're not big corn eaters, but sometimes I like it. And whatever else, if I've got leftover green beans, I'll throw the leftover green beans in there, whatever the case may be. Then I combine the two and I work those all together, add a little soy sauce. And listen, that is good eating. And then I might have some chicken strips I might air fry and put on the top. But how we like it is I'll scramble some eggs and put on the top of that. And hello, it is delicious. And you make yourself a little bit of sauce because, it's hard to eat that stuff without sauce. You make yourself a little bit of sauce. Mine is a little bit of mayonnaise, a little bit of Dijon mustard and paprika, sometimes a little bit of ketchup, not often. And you can have that on the side as a little dippy. If you do the air fryer, I get air fryer chicken strips. I cheat. I'm busy. I don't want to be in that. Hello. I don't want to be in the kitchen. And I wear my little apron that Zenjen got me. And I look so cute. So this is why, I'll tell you why I do not make a video right now. I will. But I'm going to tell you. There you go, Abigail. We're coming to your house. I love Frank Sinatra. Hello. The kitchen in this Airbnb, we've been here. Well, we've been here a little while, so we turned it into just a long-term lease. But it is very small, and I got kitchen equipment, as in toaster ovens and air fryers and Keurigs and coffee pots and what else do I have? Crock pot and this and that and this and that. And there's zero counter space. And plus I have a stand mixer. So there is a restaurant grade stainless steel table in the middle in my kitchen, which has turned into the catch-all because I use as a counter space my top of my stove and a little corner that I have. And so I don't have rooms in the cabinets for a lot of the canned goods because if it's on sale, I buy it. I don't have, so I don't want you to go in. I don't want to take you in there and be cooking and have you look around and say, I couldn't even see you cooking, Zelda, because there's so much stuff. So I'm working on the stuff. So anyway, well, I'm working on that. That's going to be coming out soon. There's a lot of stuff we're doing. But anyway, my darlings. I want to thank you for being here tonight, for spending your time with me. Oh, hold on. Someone sent me a little something something. Thank you, my darling. Thank you, thank you. I will say thank you on thank you. So please do me a favor, give me the bump. I'm going to see you I don't know where I'm going to be. Probably EDB tomorrow or whatever, but I've got some videos that I have to be working on in YouTube because I don't want these closed captions to be in Indonesian and Hindi on the videos. So I'm working on those. I'm working on that. There is a workaround. We'll do it. But anyway, my darlings, it is what it is. And I hope that you have learned something fantastically wonderful tonight because, well, I think you're wonderful and I have to share it. So with that being said, I want you all to have a wonderful evening, a wonderful September. Eat well, sleep great, and be thankful. And I will see you again. If not before, I'll see you again Thursday night for Help, I'm Haunted. Okay, I'll see you then. Bye.